Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very pleased to be part of this event in Samara, Russia. I'm Carolina Nunes, Brazilian architect and German Chancellor Fellow 2016-17. My work concentrates on cities and how we can live in cities in a more humanized way and with more integration with nature. I come from Blumenau, a city founded by German immigrants in South Brazil. And this old postcard of Blumenau represents the 20th century city. Cities become separated in four functions: dwelling, work, recreation, and transport. If we think about the zeitgeist that produced the cities follow the industry pattern where everything is predictable, segmented, and functional, just like its assembly line. Some examples: the professional career was very predictable, the progression was linear, the marriage for a lifetime with children, the acquisition of a home, the retirement, everything was predictable and linear. This zeitgeist was reflected in cities, all in the scale and the speed of the machine, separation of functions, everything should be predictable, so nature should be tamed. And the rivers should be tamed and controlled. During my research in Germany, I visited the city of Essen and its river, the Emscher. Located at the Ruhr Valley, the city was highly industrialized with mining and steel. Each river had its function, and the Emscher was chosen to take the sewage and waste away. With the decline of the type of industry, the region was faced with economical, social, and environmental collapse and then had to reinvent itself. How can a city reinvent itself in a more contemporary way? First, let's talk about contemporary society. We are more and more connected, customized, multidisciplinary, nonlinear, and unpredictable. Consolidated standards have opened up to new approaches, for example, new family configurations. We are more and more self-curators of information, of products, and this have paved the way for customization. The careers are not for a lifetime anymore, so are our homes, relationships, and even the city where we live. Nowadays, we can work online. That's my house, a farmhouse. I don't need to commute to work in a busy, noisy, polluted city. I can work online and live surrounded by nature, fresh air, clean water, and quality of life. Let's go back to Essen. The city wants to be attractive. They are making approaches such as rental subsidies for startups, but they are still facing talent drain. People still prefer cities like Munich because of quality of life. So they are investing in art and culture and their heritage. The city became European capital of culture a couple of years ago with the motto "Change through culture, culture through change." And the city put a big effort to become European capital in 2017. At the center of this new approach is the river going through a huge recovery process, including sanitation, citizen awareness, and the creation of parks, making the city attractive again. So, what is the shape of the city that matches the aspirations of our times? In a time when democracy, diversity, and sustainability are hot topics, how can our cities reflect those values? We are living behind an outdated model based on the industrial zeitgeist, based on separation of functions, artificial control, and emphasis on cars as transportation. We are shifting towards adaptation and partnership with nature as an approach to a better life in the cities. Our contemporary society is dynamic, our work and relationships are more fluid and ever flexible and unpredictable, just like the rivers. The rivers can shape the cities of our century. Besides theoretical and technical features, I would like to share some ideas from an urban planner's perspective. Renaturation of rivers and streams, in this case, removing the concrete walls to give back space for the river, providing protection against floods, biodiversity, and public spaces for citizens. Recreate an old tradition makes the city more enjoyable. You can surf far away from the sea. Protection against floods can be a cycle lane. Even within a river that is an important transport corridor, we can have good places for people. A public swimming pool makes the people come together. Greenways along the rivers can connect the city, promoting green mobility and health care. Greenways can connect residential areas, actually can connect all over the city. It's a different kind of day-to-day life. You are not losing your time to commute, you are enjoying that time of your day. Like those, there are so many ideas suggesting ways to integrate rivers and cities. Let's take a look at Samara. It's a beautiful city with some leisure areas along the river Volga. You do have beautiful landscapes and the demand for these places. I presented some ideas and then which ones could be useful for this place? Just think about it. And here that's the mouth of the Samara River in the Volga. And I can only imagine the beauty of this landscape. What could be done to value this place as this place really deserves? And if we had greenways connecting the city? We could have nice parks along the greenways with some small beaches on the river, some places where people could intertwine with nature and so on. We could connect new residential areas. It could be a new way of living, less dependent on cars, more connected with nature. We could have these residential areas connected with pathways to work, like centers of innovation and schools and parks for the leisure and parks for the preservation of nature. And before I finish, I see Samara as a city of the future, a living city where people want to live, not only because it's where the jobs are, but because it's a great place to spend your life. And then it becomes an attractive city, generating jobs, opportunities, and good quality of life. Thank you!